Welcome back to Steve Rob Reviews and welcome to Northern Ontario. As you can see behind me here, I'm starting some construction on putting some paneling on top of these wooden studs, and I'm going to give you a close-up look exactly what I'm doing and how hard it is to actually think about fabricating everything at home, bringing it up here, trying to get it to fit, and nothing seems to be square. So let's take a look. Well, the first place we're going to start off is right down in this corner. You see how nice and flush this is? You know, right down here in the corner. And of course, I made sure that this was exactly a stud width up, but it doesn't seem to be fitting too good here now, does it? So I don't know what's going to happen to that. So as you can see, I just used some concrete screws. I've shown them screws before, and you know, it goes in pretty good. I didn't bother showing this part. Now the window part. This is going to be a challenge because, as you could see, I have to actually build it out some, and I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. And as you can see, I had to cut the stud all the way in through here. And if we take a look up in the top corner here, you see that big gap there? I mean, this siding, I don't know, whoever put this on here was out of their mind, but you know, it did the job, right? So there's a big gap there I got to fill up, and as I come across, it tapers down to less of a gap. And I've got this piece of galvanized metal that I'm going to jam in there and do my best. So what I'm going to do is bring you back a bit at a time as I get more done. Okay, as you can see behind me, I got some more done. Let's take a look. So we'll start off at this end here. All I have is just some J-channel, and the siding is going to go up underneath. That's the only thing I could think of. And yeah, that was easy enough to put on, and brought it all the way along to the top. And of course there's a big gap in the backside, and I'll show you what I had to do. As you can see there, I had to put some caulking in there all the way to the end, and that'll be good enough because I'm going to have to finish the other side next year. So I want that all to be weatherproof. And for this crack right here, all I'm going to do is just put some tape between here and here. And if you notice what the lines are, well, all the red markings match up with the studs, just so I know later that they're there. Okay, so let's start putting the siding on. Well, here we go. There's the first sheet up, and you can see down the bottom here I just used a little bit of a scissor jack to hold it up while I place it there. And it goes on pretty fast. I pre-painted all the way around the outside edges and the center cracks, makes it a lot easier. And I'll show you the setup I got here. Is I'm using my panel nailer here, my air nailer. Works like a charm, 1.5 inch galvanized nails. And there's a couple of spots there where it went in too deep, you can see right there. And you just put some latex caulking in there, fill the crack up or the hole, and paint her up. You never see it. So I'll show you the setup I got going on here. Well, there's the workstation right there. I got my table saw and the 2 sawhorses, my genset. There's my air compressor. And yeah, she's ready to go. So as you can see, I can only put, let's take a look here. Okay, I can only put one more sheet up, and then I got to work on the window. So I'll put the next sheet up, and then I'll work on the window, and I'll bring you back when I got more done. Well, I got her all framed in. Guys, had to use some shims. It's not pretty, but that's about it there. This is the only spot that's going to be kind of delicate, but yeah, it will be delicate. And surprisingly, the 4-foot mark on the next sheet ends right here. So I'll bring you back when I got that sheet on. Well, what do you think? It's the next day, and I got this done so far. I'm going to show you around the window what I've got done and what I got planned. So let's take a look. Okay, the first thing you notice is this PVC 3.5 by 3/4 inches thick. That's going to go around here like this, and then I'll know exactly what size of flashing to put in here. Because if we take a look down the bottom here, you can see that you have some drain holes here, so you can't plug them up. So you could, I'll show you here, I just put some caulking in there, and you see that gap up here? Well, nobody's going to see that when I'm finished. So that's the whole idea like that. And then I'll finish the outside with some trim going around the outside and finish off the window frame. But the whole idea behind putting these panels up is, you know, you have to get the first panel dead on level. If not, everything's going to be crooked. So I've got one full sheet here and then about a half a sheet. So I'll bring you back when I got that done. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of a tip here. If you're going to be installing panels by yourself, this is all I do. Just put some shims underneath. Make sure it's just fine before you actually install it. And of course, make sure it's dead on level. And that's pretty much it right there. And of course, using the nail gun makes it 10 times easier. Now I can just pop in a couple of nails, take the shims out, and away you go. Okay, so you can see that the second last sheet is up there, and I used my PVC for my straight edge. And when you only bring up 5 sheets, there's no room for oopsies. So you can't make any mistakes. So I'm going to cut this sheet here. Let's get to it. Okay, so what I do is I just make my blade a little bit longer than the sheet and cut right straight through the sawhorses. That's what they're made for. So let's put this sheet up right now. And then all I have to do is just take the little bit of supports I have down there below out and just finish nailing her all up. I'll bring you back when I start working on the window. Okay, so I got 2 of the pieces in already. I've already cut them, and I'm just using my 16 gauge air nailer, and I think that's the best on this type of situation here, because you're not going to see the nail heads and that kind of stuff. And after I'll go over with a little bit of white latex caulking, you won't even see the holes. I'll show you when it's done, but I'll put the last piece in right here. Now it doesn't get no easier than that when you're using an air nailer. Now could you imagine I guess you could use screws or trying to hammer it in. Nah, this is the way to go. So let's take a look and let's see what I've done so far. Well, there's the shot from the side. So it is, I did have to trim the edges here on the table saw to make it line up half decent. And when we get to the corners here, yeah, I had to actually cut them on an angle. And I'm leaving lots of space down below so I can slide in a piece of aluminum flashing that will just go below these holes. And same on this side here. And I like to leave enough of a gap here so that I can put some caulking in. And of course I'll put caulking in all over, all the way around. Well, that's all I'm going to do for today. And as you can imagine, I got to spend the rest of the day actually painting this 2 coats of paint. So I'll be doing that for the rest of the day. I'll bring you back in the future. I'll show you when this is all done. And of course, it's got to match the front of the building, which it does. So thanks for joining me here today. If you've never seen this channel before, well, you're welcome to subscribe. Come back again and let's do some more work like this because you're going to see lots of it this year. Cheers.